Dear students, till now we discussed about innovation and its components and influencing part, how it will be implemented in the market and what are the processes of innovation, right? Let us discuss in the unit 2 application of innovation where it is really used in the real life. The organization amplification of an idea. The knowledge spiral or SECI model by Ikujiro Nonaka and Hirotaka Takeo is preferably the most famous in the field of knowledge management, that is KM. The model is most commonly used for tacit explicit knowledge data debates, but it was also meant to illustrate a key message about innovation. This is one of the tested method, a tacit explicit. Tacit means indirectly expressed, explicit is openly expressed. Let us discuss in the where it was in the Japanese usually adopted developed this name is from Japan only. Companies were successful because they Japanese were successful because they could make incremental innovations. What is incremental innovation? It is renewal. There is nothing new, or they have not found out any new things which are totally new. But when it comes to incremental, that becomes the existing system is upgraded or marginal increment is found. Each one building on an organizationally embedded knowledge base. So it is totally internal. Only organizational people, sorry, only people in the organization are aware of this innovation. So it becomes new to the external world, right? So organizationally embedded. See this square shaped figure where you are finding somewhere tacit, somewhere explicit, somewhere tacit, right? What does it understands? You are able to see this spiral which started and moving in which direction. Okay, let's start with the first quadrant. So here this uh, square is divided into four quadrants, right? That is named as socialization, externalization, combination, and internalization. When something new thing happened inside, which is organizationally embedded, you are finding these two are tacit. Tacit are nothing but indirectly told or accepted. So here only organizational people who are working in that organization only knows. Then it moves to the externalization. From internal part it moves to the external means it moves to the another organization. It will be because from unknown to known, from indirect to direct, that becomes externalization because the spiral moves from this to this. See here in the internal part it moves to here, then it moves to combination, then it moves to internalization, then again socialization. It will be concreting, right? So this particular figure explains how innovation flows from internal or inside an organization to the another organization where it becomes explicit. In the third one it becomes combination because some companies take this innovation and they will combine with the existing system. That becomes explicit and explicit, both are open, both directions are open here. Then it moves to internalization. What is internalization? So this is how the innovation moves. And internal here in internalization, the knowledge is flowing from explicit because it modernizes. Many things are modified from this idea to the here to here, and again it will come back to the same organization where it changes the origin or what was originally emerged. It has several combination here. in the externalization and combination. Then when it comes back to the organization with many modification, they will adopt it, and it becomes again tacit. It becomes indirect because company again accept it with many changes. The ability to have honest conversation about progress. If people are afraid to say the project is delayed to stakeholders, they will keep taking safer option. Often business deadlines are not real, but people sweat them because they have given a date to some senior person. We can't accurately predict time scales for true innovation because we are learning as we go. If we want predictably, we tend to favor things we have tried before. Here, what they are highlighting is we cannot just say project is delayed. Why it is delayed? It is because many things are happening in the research field, or many modifications are going to happen in the existing system, but it is not um, it is, yes, really it is time bounded, but we cannot tell only by tomorrow I am ready to give the solution, right? It takes its own time. Time to play. If people are 100% occupied doing business as usual, they rarely will be able to step back and do things differently. This is especially true of process innovation, where the good ideas originate from the people doing the job, unlike product innovations where you can dedicate only in R&D, research and development. We need to create some slack and let people experiment, recognizing that output is likely to dip during this time. External connectedness. There are many volumes on disruption. One common theme is that groupthink is the enemy of innovation. Your experts are the most likely to put down a new idea that runs contrary to everything they know. Having mechanism to bring the outside it in outside will help. Diversity in recruitment, sabbaticals, trade shows, social networks, university partnerships, and open innovation platforms, for example, where connectedness can improve the innovation. Commitment to take to market. We only really know if something will work when you get data from the real world. Some companies are internally very innovative, but then sit on parents and products because they are afraid to put them out. Digital products in particular are amenable to launching with a minimum viable product and then iterating. Many startups do this, but bigger companies need to overcome their reluctance. Willingness next to let go. Kodak often comes up as an example of a company that failed to innovate, yet they invented the digital camera that was at the root of their ultimate demise. What they did not do was put enough weight to behind marketing the product and developing it further when it meant diverting resources from its traditional product lines. So here market players will always reluctant to adopt the changes, so that they should have the proper idea or proper willingness to accept the change in the prevailing system or in the traditional product. Money for uncertain outcomes. A clear innovation process is important to nurture ideas beyond the prototype stage. Prototype means in the beginning stage or the pilot stage where it is going to be tested. A key part of this is putting money into things that don't necessarily have a clear ROI at the beginning. Return on investment. For a pilot project, if I am spending 1 crore rupees, you cannot expect anything from it. It goes for waste if the project goes waste. If the prototype success, definitely that 1 crore also will be added in the profit. That is why return on investment we cannot be thought of or cannot be expected in the beginning stage. As with the commitment to market, we don't have the data at this point to judge if it is truly innovative. This is not to say that you should continue funding the bad ideas, only that ideas need the oxygen of cash to develop. So initially you should think which innovation is good or which innovation may be bad. You should be able to judge. That is because of your experience or expertise you can use to find bad ideas or good ideas. If you find it is bad ideas, it doesn't have any future, definitely you should stop funding on it, because you cannot expect any return on investment in the beginning or prototype stage. Soft methods and techniques of innovation management. Selection of suitable methods. The right selection of the method is one main prerequisite for success in the field of solving the innovations problems. So this suitable method, how we have to do the innovation, how we have to do that. It is obvious that the frequency of various methods or their variant increases. So what are the components which are frequently going in opposite directions, or you should be able to establish the actual relationship between the variables. Apparently, it is associated with ruggedness of problems and disciplines. Orientation in a number of different methods may not be simple tasks. Introduction to the problem. Defining the problem and innovative task is the first step. Second one is the measurement. Market, customer needs, process, requirements and parameters are the area where measurement can be. Analysis of the problem causes constraints. Constraints are nothing but the limitations and bottlenecks. Analysis, critical processes and functions, identification of contradictions. So this is the analytical stage where you are finding which are the bottlenecks in the analysis or in the measurement or in the implementation. Searching solution for these problems, overcoming contradictions which goes in the opposite directions, we have to overcome. Generating ideas, searching for variation in the properties of innovations, finding analogies and innovative inspiration. Fifth is in implementation of ideas, solutions, testings, pilot projects, prototypes, test on the market, and experiments. Extension of innovation on the market, uptake of innovation in the company, business plans, and investment. Companies should be readily invest on this plan. They have to come out with the proper business plan, but companies should accept it with only after pilot projects company can invest on this. Implementation of innovation on the market, monitoring and evaluation of innovations and their effects. In the process of selection of innovative methods, the main emphasis is located in creativity and systematizes. The method should consider, among others, purpose of using innovative methods, character of solved innovation problem, practical feasibility, practical use of innovative methods. That is what we discussed in the previous slide. So here, purpose of using innovative, why we are using this innovation, where it is required, right? Character of the solved innovation problem. Selected innovative method must match the problem addressed and the situation in which solution occurs. So where it is successfully gave the solution to the problem which was to be addressed. A practical feasibility. With this solution, are we able to apply it? So feasibility also should be tested. An innovative method must be feasible using the resources. Feasibility is nothing but how far we are able to adopt it using the resources. It may be human resource or it may be technological resources, or it may be capital that are available for the problem solving. Workers skills, resources for the purpose of applying the method, cost and time constraints associated using the method, solving known or new issues, etc. are to be tested before undertaking. Practical use of innovative methods. Application of the method should also be effective. Another parameter relates to stages in the innovation process in which the method is used. That is the phase one, that is invention creation. So it ideas, searching and creating, research approaches to problem solving, assessment of the needs, markets, etc. So second one is innovation creation. Preparation of innovation program, innovative project, applied research and development production. These are all the things we discussed actually in the beginning. Phase 3, innovations, spending, commercialization of the innovation which is found to be effective. Problem of the methods efficiency. These experiences from concrete enterprises showed that methods that were effective in one solution can be totally ineffective in another. So it is contextual basis or situational basis. We can't tell in that situation this particular idea worked out, then it is universally it can give the problem answers to the problems. No, business practices shows that different situation can have a different character conditions, different resources can be available, and situation can be part of more complex problem. So it is situational basis. During the collection process of the innovative methods into the database, we also found the methods that ultimately prelude the more innovative business efforts. These methods are sometimes referred to as negative methods of innovation. Briefly, it can be characterized as the methods reliably and systematically destroying innovative activities. If you find innovation is negative, then definitely it destroys the innovation activities. They are often used unwittingly without the initial intention to make mistakes, right? No one makes any mistakes intentionally, damage or liquidate to the company. In this context, findings usable for project safety destroying represents an example of negative recommendation from the field of project management. Start an innovation project as soon as possible. Describe vague and unclear outcomes and assignments. It is only through expertise we are able to tell whether it is vague or outcomes may be unclear, or what type of assignment, whether lead to success or not. A lot of tasks and minimize the competence is, if possible, only informal information. All are responsible for everything. You cannot say this negativity is only because of Mr. A. If he acted possibly rightly, definitely we could have prevented this kind of loss. No, it cannot be told to or attributed to only one person. So it is the responsibility of the team. As many commitments for assessing and improving the processes, any reasonable comment is necessary to integrate. Any type of comment if you are making, definitely it should be reasonable. It should be understandable, and it should be uh, analyzed, and it should be able to find some solution for that particular comments. Economic aspects of innovations. Yeah, when it comes to economic part of the game, innovation, it is when it is applied in the business, when it comes to the reality, when it has the competitiveness, definitely it has economic aspects. That ability to adapt to fast-paced business change has become critical for firms' competitiveness and growth. There are several ways through which firms can occasionally increase their performance, but none is an important over the long term as the development of an inability to sustain innovation. There have been extensive research efforts to understand the drivers behind a firm's capacity to continuously innovate, especially in the fields of innovation management and design theories. Despite there remains a need for research in finance to integrate these developments, especially in clarifying the correlation between repeated innovation and private equity investment, not limited to venture capital. So in this particular discussion, we are highlighting when as innovation becomes profitable, when innovation will be continuous, whether company has the capacity to invest on this kind of continuous innovation. Some companies always you will find from one batch to another batch, or from one year to another year, you will find a lot of new things or new features are accommodated. How it is happening, whether companies are working on it, whether company is investing some part of its profit on it, does it really work out, or proper feedback system helps us to understand whether it is accepted in the market or not. So firms competitiveness and the growth, in turn the profitability, always depend on how far a company can, or how frequently a company can adopt the changes, or how they are innovative. And this system should be integrated with the budgeting or the finance part, because company should specify how much fund they made available for particular innovation, or research or development, or on this kind of innovative processes. uh, Thank you.